5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to HyzerCast episode 10. Can you guys believe it? We've been on for 10 episodes already. Thank you so much, everybody who's watched and subscribed to our channel. It's awesome. And other great exciting news is HyzerCast has a sponsor. Yay. You can see Lou and I are wearing some Reaper merch.
We don't ever stand up in our studio.
Right. See if you can see the back of that shirt. Pretty cool.
Ooh, nice.
Showing it off the swag. So we got some stuff, tried it out. It's pretty good clothing. You can go check their stuff out at reaperdiscs.com. You can use code Hyzer with any purchase and get a free gift. So we're gonna move into our actual episode now. We got some exciting topics. We're talking about your mental game in disc golf. So specifically, we're gonna start with talking about your mental stamina and how that helps you, how it can help you if you have good mental stamina, or how it could hurt you if you don't. So what do you guys think about if you have good mental stamina, where can that help you in a game, either casual round or in a tournament setting?
I think it can help anywhere and everywhere. Being mentally focused and aware, mentally there, it'll help you practice. It'll help you identify your game. It'll help you get through tough situations on the course. So that's benefits. What do you think?
Yeah, I think mental fortitude is something that if you don't have it, I think it's gonna be hard to pull yourself out of a tough situation and be able to grind and get your round back on track. I've seen too many people, myself included, like have a blow up hole and not be able to shake it off. And that just can't happen. I mean, if you want to let something go, we love to see that, bogey to birdie stat, right? Like that right there, that stat is a true testament to your mental game.
Birdogies, they will make you mentally strong or they will make you mentally defeated. Birdogies, that's for sure. Well, Dave, what about you? Because you've been playing not so many years yourself. Is there a time where the game transitions from being fun and you're not thinking about mental game, but now you're counting and now you're searching for that great round? When does the mental game step in for a player?
Certainly, and as a new player, I'd say I probably don't have as strong of a mental game as someone who's more experienced, but I know that and I recognize it. So in terms of like a tournament round, I actually try as hard as I can not to see what my score is, right? And that's kind of the workaround to having a not strong mental game, but not be affected by my lack of a strong mental game, at least in this point in my career.
It's a great strategy. I think I emulate some of that too. I try to treat my tournament rounds like my casual rounds because they're loose in a hole setting and it's a relaxing setting, so I'm mentally relaxed. So when things happen, I could mentally tackle them versus I got to be mentally focused the whole time. I actually want to be a little less...
Right.
Yeah, so it's a little... I understand what you're saying. You try to stay relaxed is what basically you're...
Yeah, just try to stay relaxed, not get caught up in what the score is. Because honestly, until you're in the last few holes of whatever round, however many round tournaments there are, the score almost doesn't matter.
Right.
Your score, whoever your nearest score, really doesn't matter. You don't actually change what you're going to do until you're at the last few holes of a tournament.
Yeah, because now we could look and see what the last hole has.
Should I push? Should I play conservative? Whatever that might be.
Yeah.
What are your tips and tricks for your mental game out there? How do you
Me? Oh my gosh. Well, I have a lot of things swirling in my head right now, so I hope I get them all out. When you said you treat your casual rounds and your tournament rounds almost the same or very similarly, I find that really interesting. I mean, I don't feel the same when I practice and when I play a tournament. I just think situationally I'm more aware. I'm more aware of everything around me. I know last time we talked about rules, like you're watching your other players maybe a little more than you would in a casual round because like you're just hanging out with your friends. Like There's more to the situation than just yourself. But of course that mental fortitude needs to come in so you can zone in when it is your turn to throw. And I think it's an interesting balance going from, okay, do I focus the entire time I'm out on the course, or do I just need to focus when I walk up to my disc, pick my shot, throw my shot, and then I can check out for a second? Because people have different views on that. Is it only focusing for your shot, or is it your prolonged focus through the round that will get you through? I don't know. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that.
I do. there's actually a really good video back in the day, Discmania. I'm not sure who the film crew at the time was, but I know
It wasn't HyzerMedia,
the stars of this piece were UC and Avery, and they would do these deep in the game videos. And UC talked about the mental game.
Yeah.
And it was how to just warm up, maybe, to relax your mind at the beginning of a round. But while you're playing, only focus for the shot, mentally and physically. And then the rest of the time, try to let everything else relax. Because to focus for the whole time of your round, mentally, could be exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for most players, we're playing a 2-round day event. So now you're talking 2 rounds of mentally trying to stay focused the whole time. Probably not the best plan of action.
Well, it's also
that's why you're
impossible to
saying-
do if you don't ever do it.
Right.
Like, let's say you don't take a practice round as completely focused the whole time. Like, how could you play casually, like, without a care in the world, and then suddenly on tournament day have 2 complete focused rounds? Like,
Right.
you
You're not gonna
will
be good at it
exhaust
if you don't
yourself.
practice.
And you will get in your head.
Sure.
Because you're not able to block out whatever stuff is coming in, whatever your self-talk is saying. You can't actually suss out what's true, what you're actually feeling, and what your nerves are maybe telling you.
Yeah, you gotta have a good balance of loose and focus, I'm sure. The approach is to be calm versus not caring. It's not just a total lack of regard to whatever's coming to you, whatever your fate may be, wherever the chips may lie, that's where I'm gonna play from.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being calm, being flexible, being ready to focus a little extra at some tasks that need a little more attention than others. So just try to not make everything such a big deal so you can stay calm and stay relaxed. That's just my approach. I think what you're saying, right, is if you practice focusing, right, eventually you will be able to focus longer and build.
Yeah.
Like for me, that sounds like such a task for me. I just like my shell. This is what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. I agree with you. I think that's a great plan. If that's for you or for anybody else, yeah, work at focusing so you can focus when you need to.
And additionally, on the flip side, you can absolutely work on letting go quicker. And how many breaths? So before I found disc golf, I need to learn this. I'm listening. Well, okay. But so I found disc golf during the pandemic. And before the pandemic hit, I was a professional performer. I've performed all over the place. But a lot of the mental work in the game is exactly the same. Like, this is why I loved opera singing, and this is why I love disc golf. The structure, the practice, everything, you need a foundation to build upon. And so this is why I really identify with this game, but especially the mental component. So, like, yes, you want to work on your mental game for focus, but you also want to be able to let things go in a quick amount of time. And so what does that mean? Like, okay, you threw a bad shot, and you're out of your whatever. You're out of your zone. Okay, how can you focus back up and feel centered? Is it a breathing exercise? Is it like take 3 seconds in, hold your breath for 3 seconds, let it out for 3 seconds, pause for 3 seconds? Like, is it that kind of breathing exercise? Mm-hmm. That can be super helpful. Get your blood pressure down, get your heart rate down, and realize that you're in a beautiful field somewhere in the woods, and say, okay, I threw one bad shot, like my life is not over, right? So, but how quickly we can lose that centered space when you play. Because when you play so well, you're like, oh my God, I'm flowing right now. And there's nothing stopping me. Maybe if you look at the score and you're like, oh my God, I'm doing so well. Boom, I hit the tree.
Yeah. Yep.
But
that's why I don't look at the
But it's
score.
that idea of like that flow state, and how can you get back into that as quickly as possible? The same thing happens on stage. The nerves. How do you stop nerves from being on stage? You are prepared. You have a great rehearsal process. Same with a disc golf course. You have your practice round. You know what you need to do. You have benchmarks in your round. You have holes that you say, I should probably birdie this one. I hope so. Okay, I have a plan. And the most variables you can control, that's awesome. It'll help you flow.
So would you call some of like the breathing exercise, all that stuff, would that be like your stop and smell the roses? Just take it in, find appreciation in what you're doing. Put yourself back to where you were when you were on that track of focus. And
Whatever that is
competitiveness,
for
your
you.
mentalness, your strength is, yeah.
Because also, look, is there somebody annoying on your card? Is there someone who is super, super, super chatty and you are not a chatter? But some people also have like one AirPod in. Is that your way of centering, listening to music? It totally can be. For me, I would focus too much on the music and the beat and like end up walking on the beat and somehow like my throw would be wrong.
I've been there before.
You know, so whatever works for you, it's really trial and error.
It's so funny how you say like what you practice is what you should do, right? And that's absolute solid advice for disc golf. Practice and that's what you should be doing when it's time to count. I tried putting music on randomly for an event. I just thought that it would make me tune in.
Yeah.
And I found out later that I like being this casual, attituded player. So anyway, I put music on, and I am playing, and you're right. I'm a music person. I play music. I like music. And I find myself being...
Right.
And screwing up your routines.
Like you're like, what's my rhythm? Like I
I'm gonna
can't
go.
find
Here
it.
comes that break of that song.
Right
and
on the beat drop,
I'm ready
you're
to
like,
go on the tee
bam.
pad. I'm ready to go on the tee pad too. Like, right? And that's probably the worst. I think I may have experienced it more throwing than putting. Because putting, it's just a little action right here that I could focus in at, like darts maybe or something short ranged. But okay, I'm committing to throwing my furthest shot ever off of this hole right now. Gets linked up with the music and it messes with you.
And everything.
If you could tune it out and that's your way to tune out the world, it works for you. But I tune into music as well, so it's really tough to tune into music and disc golf at the same time. Casually, do you like music on the course when you play your casual rounds?
Honestly, I don't play a lot of music. I think I've maybe played 10 rounds max with like some sort of music on. I don't know. I would just kind of rather talk to whoever's there and enjoy whatever conversation or like situational conversation, something surrounding the game or life.
I haven't played with much music. I've had, if other people would like to play it out loud, I'm not opposed to it, but I've never brought it myself.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me. I'd never say no, but I don't think to bring a speaker.
What else did we want to say about the mental game? Because I wanted to think of like some of the worst mental breakdowns you've had.
Oh.
Personally or
on the course? Or whatever. I think I'm part of one of the worst I've seen.
Oh boy. Well, now you have to tell us.
Please.
You have to tell us.
No, maybe
the stage is yours.
Oh boy.
No. But seriously, like it happens where you can't stop and smell the roses. There's a tipping point of frustration, like the disconnect from your game and your mental game, your physical game and your mental game. So, I think that is like the worst feeling in the world when it happens, when the wheels come flying off and it's just downhill from here.
You still have 12 holes to go.
12 holes to go is a great way of putting it. Yeah, it's you can lose it out there real easily, even if you have a great game plan. And I know this isn't kind of what happens in music, but I'm trying to flip it around, turn around. Like I picture me performing on stage, and I picture everybody booing, and like I didn't prepare for this, and like I can only take so much, and then there's the you're gonna have to deal with whatever comes, but you still have to stay out there. Holy crap, that's a lot. So before I talk about any of my least proud moments on the disc golf course, how about you?
Honestly,
seen or have
I was going to say, personally, I haven't really blown up outwardly. Inwardly, I've definitely been very upset at myself about, obviously poor performance. I think in life in general, I don't really like to express very angry emotions towards myself and lashing out.
Right. Okay.
I have played with other players that get so upset at themselves that it gets scary at moments and really screws up the flow of the card, and it can affect your own thing. Which I think ties back into your mental game has to include dealing with others, right?
Right.
Yep.
Because if someone else, and we talked about on a previous episode about having to call somebody else on a rule.
Right.
Kind of the same thing. If they're blowing up, that's a courtesy violation, potentially. But even if not, that's something that can screw up your flow of the game and your mental state, right?
That is very true.
Right. So,
I think about this a lot too, like what happens when one part of your game goes? Like, I mean, watching this season so far, like, Evelina, like, she is leading the stats on, like, tee to green, and her putt is gone. And I wonder what that's like to begin a tournament, like, knowing, okay, this is an issue for me. Like, that's so hard to kind of put away because it's such an apparent thing. And I feel for her. I watch and I think, I can't imagine standing in her shoes right now, knowing that you're 15 feet away and there's a big chance that you're going to be another 15 feet away. That's so hard.
It happens though.
Of course
and
it does.
I think I'm not going to speak for her or know what was going on the course. I know her as a professional and an athlete. She's going to do everything she can to make herself perform the best the day of. And we don't know what could have gotten into her mind that could have taken away what seems like some of the routine shots from going in, the tap-ins or something. But it is so tough. I just went through this myself. I played a round where I bogeyed 2 holes I didn't want to, and I missed 2 birdie putts. Other than that, drives were great. Putting was great. Lunchtime, hanging out, having fun, putting, got into a routine, a pre-round routine, putted, everything was great. That attribute was shut off as soon as the round started. I did not make any putts. I shot probably close to the worst round I've shot on this course in 3 years, and I don't know why, but it happened.
Yeah.
So
I think it was the first round, those few holes that screwed up your mental state and you weren't able to forget about it second round?
Well, my takeaway mentally was my lack of sleep. I was running the event.
That never helps.
Okay, you maybe had some other stressors
so
too.
there's stressors, but I went to bed at midnight. I was up at 4, and then I played and helped run the event, and I got a lot of help from a lot of people, and the day went great for everybody else. And I'm the kind of person, if I'm playing and running, the focus isn't about my performance. It's really easy to not get frustrated, actually, because there's so much going on in the course, and you're having so much fun with so many friends that there's only good takeaways from the day.
Yeah.
But for Evelina, she's going to work that out because we know her as a better player than that. So it's just a matter of time. She'll become short-sighted, and she'll become short-sighted in another sense where she's just going to focus on her hard work, probably.
I sure hope so. I mean, she is so unbelievably talented. I mean, you can see it in her game. That's why it's even extra heartbreaking to see it happen in Circle 1.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But I think it's really fascinating when you see people get the yips. The yips. But you can't say it too loud because if you say it, it's like you summon the yips to you if you say it like 3 times in a row or whatever.
Worst thing you could ever
Don't
do.
say it in the mirror at midnight.
I haven't birdied this hole. I always hit this tree to the right as
And
everyone's standing
bazinga.
on the tee pad.
Right. And there you go.
But so
Oh, you mean this one?
Yeah. But to go back to what we were talking about in terms of the that like those lashing outs and those freaking outs, you've never seen anybody like really lose it?
Oh, no, I've seen other people. I said I've never let it out.
I want to hear about what you've seen.
I mean, people just slamming their discs on the ground into their bag. Casually, I've seen someone go up and slam the basket with their disc to put it in. There's like chains all over the place. I've seen bad things, and it's not fun. And I don't know if they were just having a horrible, horrible round compared to how they usually play, or they just, like we said, don't have a good mental toughness where they weren't playing horrible, but they start coming off the tracks and then their attitude just completely changes. Because usually they're very nice people at the beginning of the round.
They're playing disc golf at the beginning of the round, and then by hole 6, they're playing Street Fighter with the basket.
Right, exactly. It's not a good transition.
Hole 6.
Yeah. They turn into the Hulk halfway through and start smashing things.
You ever uppercut a basket or a tee?
Uppercut? Not really.
No.
Karate chop.
I mean, I've definitely had my fair share of mental breakdowns on the course. Yeah, let's say mental breakdowns.
This is episode 10.
But on the course, yeah. I mean, like, I think I talked about this maybe, like, in one of our first episodes about how I played the Stafford Open last year, and, like, it was the worst I have ever played.
I remember.
Worst I played at Stafford. It was awful, and I didn't even want to go back. Like, I said, like, I will not drop out. That is not who I am. Like, whatever the game is, that's what it's going to be today. But, like, I want to prove to myself that I can play this. But it's totally different. It was a different style of event, huge field. important people there. Like, just a whole other set of factors that I've never experienced. But you won't know how to deal with that until you do it.
Do you remember how I said I was happy that happened to you?
Yeah.
Because, like...
I'm happy it happened to me, too. Now I am.
Worked hard like
Not
a
that day.
maniac. Like,
Afterward.
every day, the questions and the phone calls, but the love for the game exploded through the failure. And, like, disc golf is very much like that. There's strength in the failure, or there's good information when you don't succeed. You learn quickly. And
it takes a certain type of person, I think, too, to take it as a learning experience and not an experience that puts you down and discourages you from
like, how did you
trying
not
again.
lose it? How did you not lose
I didn't
it?
play for, like, maybe 2 weeks.
That was it?
Yeah, I needed a break. There was a lot going on in my life at that moment, too, and I was like, you know what? I need to disengage. Right now, I'm really upset at myself, and that's the last place I want to be when I hit the course.
Sure.
Because I want the course to be my happy space, and if I'm mad, I'm waiting until I'm
gonna go
okay, and then we're going to do this again.
So you got to tell us yours.
I'm
We've been
gonna-
waiting. Everybody's been
gonna-
waiting. Come
well,
on. We're running out of time. No, I'm just
all
kidding.
right, so...
No, we got plenty of time.
So I went to a very popular course, Maple Hill.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, one
Maybe you've
intro.
heard of a course called Maple Hill before. So
Massachusetts somewhere?
somewhere on the
Yeah.
East Coast. So I love this course, and I've played very well in the gold layout in casual rounds, but I can't play it during competition. I mentally get very nervous. I know I get nervous. My heart beats from hole 1 to hole 18. It's like Maple Hill is a roller coaster ride. So if
Yeah.
your heart's not pumping the whole time, you're on the wrong layout, and you need to challenge yourself. So I'm there with friends playing a casual round, and we're on hole 18, and I think I'm like 6 down. And on hole 18, I managed to take an 8. I took an 8, and I went at OB once.
Wow.
And
Dang.
so going...
At least it was the 18th
So
hole.
going for the
Then
green...
you're done.
Going for the green was pretty much my last shot, because I'm, I don't make that putt from over there. So I'm gonna, up and down from the drop zone. So it's all these extra strokes that came out of nowhere, and I knew it was coming because I just watched my disc go OB. So I just dropped my bag like this in a joking way, and I just proceeded to give my bag an elbow drop. like a wrestling move, and I just went whoo, and just came down like Macho Man.
Did you break your arm?
No, it was funny for me, and like it was supposed to be funny for people to see this. It wasn't a real act of mad. It was a hilarious act of frustration, and I try to be so dramatic about it. And the takeaway from it is we drove out of Maple Hill for like an hour before somebody said anything. I thought people were just tired.
Oh, jeez.
Everybody thought I was dead nuts serious.
Oh my gosh.
No, man, you kind of freaked out a little back there. I didn't want to bother you,
You
Oh,
silenced the
man.
group?
For an hour. After that's impressive.
If you ever want to play around with me on my local course, you could reach out to me on Messenger.
Oh my gosh.
Not after that.
Honestly, one of the scariest things I've ever experienced happened on a disc golf course for me. I was ahead by 5 strokes. It was after 1 round. We had an extended final 9, this big long safari layout. Halfway through, I started getting blurred vision in one eye. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I wonder what's happening. And it started getting fuzzy, and like I could just see light and colors coming in, and it opened up into this space of light, and I couldn't see in my right eye. I was like, oh my God.
Did you eat a mushroom?
No, I was like,
I
my retina is detaching. Like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die. I went to the eye doctor. It was an optical migraine, but I didn't know that at the time. And I ended up losing this tournament. I was like, I will not drop out. I'm trying to win. I'm 5 strokes ahead, and I lost it. I could not control it. Well, I couldn't see, but I also could not recover after it went away.
No.
I was so scared that like I was just holding that stress, and you can't do anything after that.
Next time I get a piece of dust in my eye, I'm gonna think
Stop.
my retina's detaching and I have an optical
Listen.
migraine. I'm gonna die.
I've never
Get
even
me
heard
on
of
the
that.
course.
Well, it's real. You can look it up.
I mean,
and
I
when
believe you. I've just never
experience
It's all
Yeah.
fun and games until you get a retinal dysfunctional cornea.
Listen, you're
Whatever
not going
she's
to make a putt, all right? I mean, you can close your eye and then that's...
Use the other one. You got two.
Just give a whole wing to the basket.
Yeah, if it's not normal, it's gotta kind of freak
But
you out.
I mean, that was crazy. I mean, there was no way to recover from that.
Yeah, that's
But-
tough. And that's more of like, that's a physical thing that's happening.
Yeah, but also-
your mental game was affected by it, but I almost don't blame you. Like, if your legs started
Well, I'm not blaming myself
working.
for losing, but I'm just saying things that you could never plan for
Yeah.
Oh,
happen to you and, in your own body and situationally on a course. So
not scary, but also relating to an eye twitch during a whole
Oh,
4-day
yeah.
tournament. During a
That's
whole
the-
4
4-day
days?
tournament.
Oh my God.
I think it was Bowling Green. It could have been 3 days.
I hope you called the doc.
What are you
Or
gonna
had like
do?
a banana or something.
Hey doc, my eye's
I hate
twitching.
that. I hate that.
Like, what are you?
Yeah, no, it's tough.
I've had that before. Not for 4 days, but it's just so annoying. Like, just trying to do anything. Like, I can't.
Oh,
I can't do anything.
That was a good look.
Yeah, whatever. It's on camera. Don't worry about it.
Perfect.
And for more videos like this,
Head over to our Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
this is episode 10. I'm really proud of us. And everybody that's been watching, I mean, the comments, have you been, like, getting stopped at the grocery store, like, constantly? I mean, I couldn't even go buy a car the other day. Like,
We're
it's just,
basically
like,
Car.
celebrities.
autographs.
Just
No.
saying.
It's gross
Okay,
out
but
there.
back to topic.
People just like us because we're famous.
I would really love to
They hate us 'cause
know.
we're famous.
Hate us because we're famous.
Okay, are we done?
Sorry.
I would really love to know, seriously though, everyone, what are your mental game tips and tricks? Because I think this is honestly a truly fascinating subject. And, Golf is a Mental Game is a book. There's a disc golf mental game book that I have. I haven't finished it. I've read about half of it, but it's interesting to what?
So her front nines are really good.
Your
Back
front
nines
nine of the
are
book is
horrible.
amazing.
The front nine of the book is amazing.
Back nine is
But-
just going to be,
But there are a lot of resources for mental game, and I'm
Yeah.
curious what you use.
Yeah.
If it's meditation, if it's breathing, if it's whatever.
And we have just a few minutes. Let's go over, because we've been asking this question. We didn't really touch on what do you guys do to try to train yourself to work on your mental game, whether it's long term or short term while you're in a moment. A couple quick tips for these guys.
I just practice my game physically. I want to understand physically what I need to do. When I get up to the tee or to my lie or to my putt, I really focus on the physicalness of what I'm doing. I don't even have time to be mental. Anybody that's ever taken a lesson from me, I always say, the best mental game is no mental game. Be non-mental. I'm there just thinking about the physical thing I need to do that relates to scoring in disc golf. And if I could stay on a focused wavelength like that, my mental game should be good. I could trust my game going into tournaments. What do I do elsewise for my mental game? I do try breathing. When things get stressful, finding water, try to take my mind off of the things that stress me. Maybe just have conversation with a card mate, or I'll just find myself looking around the course of the property, take my mind off of things, let my imagination go a little bit. That's it.
So try to just keep a relaxed kind of environment the whole time. If something happens and you get to a bad spot, try to just distract yourself. Get yourself back to that center.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Pretty-
good. I think that's good. What about you?
I think a lot of mental strength for me comes from controlling things that I can control. So what that means is, am I physically in shape? Do I have the physical stamina to play 2 rounds and not feel bodily tired and then let that weigh on my mind? Or the variables I can control. Did I pack a good lunch? Do I have good pre-round or mid-round snacks? Do I have my alarm set? Did I go to bed at the right time? Can I get there early and warm up and not feel rushed? The last thing you want to do is like run to your starting hole just before 2 minutes is called with a full mug of coffee. I've done it. Like, we've all been there. But none of that rushed start helps. Like, you cannot just tap into a flow state or a comfortable just a comfortable physical nature when you're already stressed and you're late and your mind is somewhere else. So I love to try and control all those things. Like, can I get to the course an hour early? Can I putt? Can I play a couple holes, maybe by myself or with a friend who's playing the tournament, and just feel relaxed? And then at the player meeting, say hey to people. That's your fun social time. You're not just arriving at that moment.
Right.
So I like to think about that. I mean, when things go wrong, I use breath exercises. Those are really helpful for me. Just trying to like breathe in the good, let out the bad as much as you can, and say, okay, guess what? The only thing that matters is the next shot. I can't change the past, but I can like soldier on. I can move forward and still have a great round. One shot does not a bad round make.
Right.
So that's pretty much what you were saying before, right? It's in the preparation, the planning, and
Yeah, like, do you know the course? Are you comfortable? Are you playing a course blind in a tournament?
Yeah.
Maybe don't recommend that.
Yeah.
but there's
Play it once.
all
you
the things that you
Yeah,
can control.
something.
Just
Look at it on UDisc.
all the things you can control. You set yourself up for success.
Yeah.
So get anything that could be in your way out of your way, so you could just go play what you love to play.
And feel comfortable.
And then when your hiccups happen or something starts pulling away from your mental focus, you have breathing exercises. I like it. What are like? Do you just hold breath?
I mentioned that one about, the same amount of seconds per, like, inhale, hold, exhale for the same amount of seconds, hold, inhale. Like, you can do that a couple rounds of that. For me, I find that my heart rate settles a bit. I'm more in my body. It's great if you close your eyes for that. So you're just listening to yourself and you're not taking in a lot of distractions.
Right.
But there are so many things. I mean, you can do the breathe in through one nostril, hold it and swish, and breathe out through the other nostril. It's very interesting. It's
Never
a different
heard of that one.
sensation. Yeah. So
Whoa.
you should really look them up because there's a lot of centering breath work that you can do. Seriously, I learned a lot of this stuff for stagecraft, like, and being a performer.
Oh,
It's
so
the
that makes-
same ideas.
That's why I asked, because I know it's not like.
Yeah.
I know on the surface, Dave's probably like, "Why are you asking? What do you mean? How do you breathe?" But
Yeah.
like, I know that what
Yeah.
you do involves a lot of breathing. You translate a lot of that to this, so that's why I was asking. Like, what is like the literal breath? Like, is it like, and to see that technique, to hear about it, that's
Sometimes
I'm
even
glad
like
I
if you almost straddle out and like put your arms on your knees and just kind of like drop your head and just kind of lower your head for a minute, like under your legs, kind of fold yourself over for a little bit, like you get really in touch with your abdomen. Like if it touches your legs, you're like, okay, I'm in the deep center of my body, and suddenly you're like, okay, I am one being. Like if your shot's off, it's like, oh, are my legs moving different than my arms? If something is, I don't know, mechanically
literally
wrong.
recenters yourself.
Yeah, like just have that moment to like really dig deep into your body. But they're little things, and you won't look that strange if you like touch your toes on the course. No one's
Yeah,
gonna say,
a little
"Oh,
stretching a little
what a
bit."
weirdo."
Yeah.
But
go walk over and hug a tree. It'll calm you down.
you probably could. But there's always space for you to find yourself again.
Yeah.
On the course.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So, you keep your mental state as calm as you can, get into whatever state you need to play well. You get out of it, try these breathing exercises, different things like that. Like we said, let us know if you have any other tips or what you think about the ones that we gave during this episode. But that's going to do it for episode 10 of HyzerCast. Very excited. Thank you again to Reaper Discs for sponsoring this episode and sending us some awesome swag. So check them out at reaperdiscs.com. Use code Hyzer to get a free gift with any purchase. That's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for joining me as always.
Of course.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next hole.